For those just starting out, to those who built their reputation. In the detail industry, navigating the course is a daily grind. This is Play-by-Play, with industry professionals tackling topics and offering tips to help improve your game plan. Now, here's your play-by-play.
All right, what is up, everybody? Of course, we are back with another episode of Play-by-Play. Got my dad, Mr. Billy Jackson, with us because we are continuing our family series, the family dynamic, and you play a big role here at EZN and Detail Booking and a couple other companies for that matter.
Right.
But so we figured we couldn't have a family series without bringing our family in, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, in addition to having Mr. Billy on, guys, you do not want to miss this Hacker Hack. We ripped it straight from Facebook. I mean, it is by far one of my favorites.
It's an asset.
It absolutely is. And just a little teaser. And so we don't want you damaging your customer's paint, right? So we found a way to use your body parts to tame your tools.
Yeah.
Stick around to find out just exactly how.
And look, so I already know what this one is. Usually they're a surprise to me, but I know what this one is, and this is going to be a fun one for sure. But something else is going to be fun. I got a little something up my sleeve here for you, Ryan. You've been gone all week.
I was here Monday.
Well, you've been out most of the week, and we were missing you. So I figured we would take a trip down memory lane with you, Ryan, and just see what we could drum up. See, Ethan, roll us up.
How did you
look at the hair?
How did you,
bro? Oh, we're not done yet. Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at Dustin.
Oh, they got me.
I am gonna.
Okay, that was good.
See now, dude. Look at that. Yeah, this wasn't just about me. Dustin's got the angel and the devil over his shoulder for all y'all that don't see it. I'm so happy it wasn't just me.
Oh my goodness, what is that on my head? It's Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Thanks a lot, Mom.
Look at this. Daffodil.
They used to call me Stu back in the days. That was my nickname. You were Daffodil?
I was Daffodil.
Look at me, the handsome white tux on there. Oh my God, this is great.
This is hilarious. Like a rat tail, dude.
I rocked mullet for a hot minute. You know, that was my thing.
So the Daffodil story goes like this. I started playing park ball, and I was like, I was a year. So I didn't start the first year. I started the second year that everybody started 70 pounder.
Right.
You know? And I remember we didn't know, like, my mom didn't know that you go to the park and get the pads. So we were at a yard sale one time, and she bought the pads that were in pants, and they were yellow. They were bright yellow pants. And so I show up to practice, and everybody's wearing like black pants because that's the practice pants.
Yeah.
And I had these bright yellow pants on, and they do Daffodil, and it was all the way through school and everything. I was Daffodil.
That's hilarious.
And so that's where that came from.
My stew wasn't as good as that at all. I got nicknamed by a couple girls in 7th grade riding the bus. Beavis and Butthead was real big. And if y'all remember the dorky friend Stu that used to follow him around, well, they used to go to the gas station. I would too walk to the gas station, but I walk behind them, you know.
Right.
So then it flash forward like 3 years later, they're dating some of my best friends in high school, and they tell them the story about it that they used to call me Stu, or like Beavis and Butthead. So Stu became my nickname, and throughout college, I accidentally introduced myself as Stu in college, and it just kept.
You know, you were king at church as your mom.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mom, for all that help you did with that video.
I heard that you had a parakeet named Beth. All right.
I did.
And so what happened to Beth? Did you have to give it away?
Man, I honestly.
Did you have to give it to your sister?
Oh, yeah. So, sister, I honestly, I don't really remember the story.
She said you were quite emotional about giving away the parakeet.
I thought Beth died. So maybe that was yeah, no. Well, if I had to give it to her, I would have been pissed. Let's just say, she always had everything that she wanted. So
look, that's
listen,
this is hilarious. Your sister actually reached out over Facebook messages.
That was her. Of course she did.
But I had no idea I was going to get thrown in the mix.
Hold on. So my sister did find her way to drop in your DMs.
Yeah, she was in the DMs.
Jesus, Casey, she's shameless. She's shameless.
All right, listen. On a serious note, though, want to talk a little bit about what's relevant in the detail world here at our shop, and rain is relevant.
Yes, every day.
It seems like it's been raining for 2 or 3 weeks every day.
Every day.
And want to talk a little bit. I think we've actually spoke on this before, but what do detailers do during the rain?
Right.
Like especially your mobile detailers. How do they manage? What do they do? And so here at our shop, since we've come off the road, we don't do much mobile unit work anymore. Rain doesn't affect us as bad. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, I would say, but it doesn't affect us. But when we were out on the road, it absolutely did.
Absolutely, it did.
I remember we would sit in the office and kind of plan out our day, and like our dad really was a big voice in this of like planning the lunch around when the storms were coming through. So like
Nice.
if they were afternoon storms, you go down and work till 2. Wait, when the storm rolls in, that's your lunch.
And they come through and roll out, so
especially down at the beach. And so, I don't.
So how do you rearrange? It pours for 2 days.
Yeah.
You had a schedule that was full. You're a one-man show, right? How do you go about getting those folks rescheduled? Because, their car was dirty when they wanted to have it done. And so it's going to be dirtier a couple days later. But also, what about those jobs you had on the schedule?
Yeah.
2 days later.
One of the things when we were mobile units, we would just kind of start to stack the schedule the next day, overstack, and just work a little bit longer day, especially if we had to miss some of the day before. So we had hours on payroll to give.
Gotcha.
And so, and I think that a lot of mobile detailers, especially the owner operators, do the same thing. That if I can't work today, I just got to work longer tomorrow.
Right.
Those jobs don't go away generally.
Exactly. Yeah. Right on. Okay.
Unless you get fortunate enough that someone's got a carport you can work under.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Carport, garage, or if you have, like we could sometimes get them in the marina. They would put them on the bottom rack for us.
Oh,
we
nice.
could still work. And like here now, our details are not just those, maintenance. A lot of our details aren't the maintenance style details. So like if you got a coating job that you're going to do, you're going to have the car all day anyway. The customer, rain's not affecting those details.
Right.
We bring them in the shop. We do all the work.
If anything, they show up when it's raining. You get to watch them. How cool the ceramic has that water run off of it.
Funny story though. Yesterday, I got a message from a guy, and it's a new customer, and he got a pretty big job with us. And he said, he sends me a message. He said, "So, are you guys like Rich's, where you give me a complimentary wash if it rains within 24 hours?" I was like, "You can bring it back over here and wash the car."
Oh my god.
But he absolutely did, and I thought it was funny that he asked that. I said, but on a note, we're not like Rich's,
right?
But
Nothing about it.
What? Bring me the truck, and and I'll.
But literally at that point, if you just coated it, you should have been able to just hit it with the hose, right? And everything.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if there's some dirt on it or whatever.
Yeah, and we'll probably never see him for that complimentary wash. And I think it was more of a joke on his
gotcha.
part, but
Yeah.
Bring me the truck.
Absolutely.
We'll clean it up.
That's
and then
awesome.
so. Of course, it's kind of nice when it's hot as hell outside and see the rain roll in. It cools us off some too.
Yeah, from 98 to 73 is a lot better working condition, right?
Well, I tell y'all might slow down when it rains. I pick up, and that's because I now get to, I'll look at the map and I'll see. All right, boom, Florida is pouring.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to the guys that haven't quite set their software up in Florida. I'm gonna see if I can't get them on.
It gives them some time,
and it gives them no excuse. You're in the house, you're stuck. You know what I mean? Let's do it. And so I've been able to do that. I've been able to fill the week up with some good walkthroughs, and when we get to spend that kind of time and the guys aren't constantly like in the back of their mind knowing that they gotta, as soon as this is over, I gotta go do this, that, and the other. They're locked in, and we get some progress made, and it feels good.
That's good timing.
Yeah,
it is. And as far as cancellations go on, you end up with a few, but most of the time customers reschedule. They want the car doesn't not need the detail now,
right? Just
because it rained, it probably needs a little more now. So as far as cancellations go, we take deposits on all of our jobs, except for our regular customers. We don't ask a deposit for those guys. But especially if you're a first timer and you're getting on our schedule, we're going to ask for a deposit. And so cancellations are minimal, but the rain doesn't impact us. I mean, Dad, when you're delivering boats, freshly detailed, you get to where you're going and you got some spray on, get a little bit of wipe down to do or something.
Absolutely, we do, and we try to work around that to where it's not raining.
Right.
Of course, this day and time it's tough, but
Yeah.
try to catch in between. But yes, absolutely, wipe them down.
So there's planning involved in it. I mean, it's everybody's a little different, but just like, you just kind of come up with what works for you.
Absolutely, we do.
I'd love to know some of the strategies that you guys out there and TV land, is that still a thing?
We're not.
Yeah, okay. And YouTube land or what have you. Give us some suggestions on how you handle that.
We haven't quite made it to TV yet.
Well, I'd be interested to know if what's your guys' secrets to getting through those rainy days. And
it's always interesting to hear, and how can our software better serve you during those inclement weathers? I know there's another software out there that tends to predict that tries to predict the rain through its calendar, and we can imagine how accurate that is.
Well, I mean, I looked at my Google map too, so I mean, it's the same thing.
Right.
Anyways,
but another thing we found with the software, not to get off on that, but is that we see less cancellations when they book those jobs because it's almost like they're committed. Even the deposit and also just putting it on the calendar.
Getting the reminder, hey,
that's right.
And then letting them know, because a lot of them do ask, I mean, how does the rain affect my detail?
Sure.
And well, it doesn't rain in our shop.
Right.
That's right.
You're gonna get the quality detail that you paid for, whether it's sun shining, snowing, raining, sleeting, hailing, whatever.
I tell you,
not
about
always
deposit.
rainbows and butterflies.
That's right. Not always sunshine and bubblegum.
Yeah.
I think. No, but I tell you what that deposit does is it gives them the incentive to reschedule, because when it comes down to it, they don't know. But we're not gonna not refund the money if they pitch a fit. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get on Facebook and backlash. These guys ripped me off, took my deposit, blah blah blah, and that's gonna make it a lot worse on your business than handing them back $50 or $100 or whatever.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? But what they tend to do is they don't even think about that. They just when can I reschedule?
That's right.
It gives them some skin in the game.
That's
and
right.
so now I got money tied up into it. Yeah, go ahead and reschedule me. And now you're not out that detail. But like what you're speaking to, Ryan, is you're right. We're not in the business to hold people's money and not do the work.
Right.
Like we're not paying the bills on unrefunded or non-refunded deposits. It's just not going to happen.
And we're the same. I'm sorry to cut you off. We're the same in the software. Yeah, we ask for a credit card down. That's kind of like you putting a deposit down. It's your skin in the game.
Yep.
Even though you're not actually. If you happen to run over your free trial and you forget, and it's a few days afterwards, we will refund the money. I mean, just because we don't want to take your money if you're not using the software.
Right.
We want to do the work for you. We want this to work for you. And so, I mean, just so you know, guys, if there's any hesitation on that end and you just are worried you're going to forget, I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and speaking on that, I know Dad remembers, and Ryan too, when we were doing trials without any kind of credit card, the commitment wasn't there from the detailers as much.
That's
and
right.
so then at the 14 days, it was spent.
30 days.
30 days,
Yeah, we were doing 30
at
days.
the end of 30 days, we were spent chasing guys around that never even tried the software. There was no. It was like how easy it is to just push a button, and say order now, and not have to pay, not have to put a credit card up. But when you put that credit card and said, okay, am I really going to do this thing? And that's what we want you to think.
That's right. Because I got 14 days where I'm going to devote hours of my time for free because it's in the free trial, right? You can finish that 14-day free trial. We could have 4-hour-long meetings and we're going to part ways and there's going to be no hard feelings. We couldn't make it work for you. But I know 100% you give me 2 days. We'll have this thing set up. You dial it in, man, an hour and a half on your end, hour on my end together. And this thing is in use. So by the second week, you should be, collecting deposits, booking jobs, getting that estimates out there.
So just to clarify, when it rains, we sell software.
That's right.
Sum it up there.
Get you a demo.
If it's raining in your state, buy some software.
Ryan's going to be calling you.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
You're like, oh shit, here comes the clouds.
Yeah.
All right, listen. So look, that's enough talk about rain and all this, negative stuff. No, it wasn't negative. All this stuff. Let's talk to my dad. Let's talk about your involvement here at EZN. The first question I want to ask you, and this is always a funny one to me, is first of all, it's 2-part question. How did you end up here? But what's the story behind you the day you started? That's always the funniest.
Do we really want to start with brunch?
I think we start with brunch. We start with bottomless mimosas on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, at Orange Beach or Fisher's.
Fisher's.
Yeah,
we
for
were down in Orange Beach.
$10, and 4 hours later, I think we finally ate breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So I mean, like literally, we're sitting at this restaurant Sunday. Now, to kind of set the stage a little bit deeper, is my stepmom Angie's, my dad's wife, was there, and she had no idea the next day that he would be starting to work here.
Didn't have a clue.
And so we're kind of drinking our nerves away.
Oh my God.
Like,
The absolute case of ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Yeah, and I texted her earlier and told her be sure and watch this so she would have a better understanding of what really happened.
I'll get the full story.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
bottomless mimosas at Fisher's. Then what happened?
Well, we drove down to Floribama instead of coming home. And we have Demi, which is about 3 months old.
Young.
Yeah, or
Yes.
2 months, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very young. And we hang out in Floribama till about midnight.
Oh yeah. This is Sunday night, Monday morning of the day before his first job.
Yeah.
The first day here at EZN.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
so it's rough. It's rough. So we walk in to our first meeting together with me as an employee.
Oh, hold on. Before that, when you left the house that morning,
I was still drunk in the shower. So
what uniform were you wearing?
I was wearing shorts and a shirt.
So you didn't leave the house the first time in the uniform that you were for your regular job that you quit? And then
I don't really remember that. I just
Okay.
remember kissing Angie bye real quick and saying, I'll see you later.
okay, all right.
But there was so you came to work, we had a meeting, and we were both like lost eyed, like, oh God, this is a bad idea. The drinking was a bad idea.
The drinking was a real bad idea, especially till midnight.
We had to go, one of the first things we had to do was go back to Orange Beach and look at this big swordfish that we were coating. Okay. And so Dad's like, so hey, we got to run back down there. It's like, all right, well, he leaves. Didn't you go back to the house and tell Angie?
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Well, when I left, she was not real happy when I told her went back and told her I'd started my new job.
Yeah.
Now you got a pretty damn good job, right?
I
this
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said I did.
Yeah.
I told her this one was going to be just as good.
Oh wow.
Well,
It has been.
You can imagine the uncomfortableness of that conversation that morning. Like, hey baby, by the way, I quit my job. I'm going to work with my son.
Those typically are conversations that you have prior to the actual decision making, but
I probably tried to drop some things in here and there, but
Little hints.
she wasn't receptive.
Well, he did, and I know that because I was around a couple times, and he would be like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go to work with Dustin," and she would shut that shit down.
Really?
Yeah.
wow.
Because he had a great job.
Yo, yeah, benefit by I'm
he
sure.
had a great job. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a great job now, but
Absolutely.
the EZN was different then than it is now.
Right.
Like it's such a I mean, thanks to him, it's come so far. Like now you can look at this as a career choice. Now you can look. Then it was literally. it was going to be like,
we're doing this together to see if we
had
make
to
it, but it
build
chips
this.
in,
It was all chips in.
Well, she'd walked the road with us building a business before, and
Mm-hmm.
and it was tough.
Yeah,
So
it was.
we did the delivery business, and it was a tough business, but we got through it. So that in her mind, I'm sure she's going back saying, man, I don't know if I can do this again.
Right, because
And I don't blame her.
when you work, when you work for someone, like when the job that he had was guaranteed in a
Right.
sense, like
Right,
that's
right.
like he didn't have the. I don't want to say he didn't have the stress. Like when you're a small business and entrepreneur in a new business, there's not that guarantee.
That's right.
It's a fight.
You had established yourself in the other one, and
And it was well known and did a great job, and so.
Now it just didn't start out organically, right? I mean, one day you just said, "Dad, come work for me," and then he was working for you. Y'all had that. How long had y'all been kind of discussing that? I guess
For a while, I can't put a stamp on the time, but
right, a year or two. We talked every morning on the phone about business, about what was going on, and he would tell me what was going on at his shop. I'd tell you what was going on at mine, and then then we were mobile at the time, and we had a shop. And I was just being pulled at all ends.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I just.
it was tough. I don't know how he did what he did.
Need some help.
free software, yeah, or is this?
Yeah, there was tickets hanging on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, free software for sure. So yeah, it was a blessing, and we'll get into all that, but Definitely game changer when he showed up.
Absolutely.
Day two.
Day two.
Day one was a
rough.
real struggle.
Day one was a hangover and a haze. And it was April 1st. It was
April
Fools.
1st.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So you
yeah.
told her on April Fool's Day that I quit my job?
April Fool, and I was drunk and changing jobs.
Yeah, she probably, when you left, she probably was like, "Oh, that fool, he probably just playing a prank."
Oh, no.
Oh, God. No, she didn't.
I wish it went that well.
A lot of things changed. So let's think about it. What did change when he first started as far as the way the business operated?
Oh man, it gave me an opportunity. Well, I mean, a multitude of things, but it definitely gave me an opportunity to take a step back and start to work on the business rather than work in the business. And I know that's such a cliche, and we all say that all the time, but this is probably one of the truest cases of that. First thing he told me is you got to take a step back and look at the big picture. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that. I'm going to take over some of this stuff, that's day-to-day running stuff, and let you kind of take a step into the visionary role and say, what do you really want to do here? And then, of course, he brings in the depth of knowledge of running businesses and knowing the struggles. And like, he says all the time, it's like, if this shit was easy, everybody would do it.
Absolutely, they would.
And so, like, having that mentality, when you feel like you're at the bottom looking up and somebody say, hey, look, if this was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
Okay, well, get your ass back to work. You know? And so, like, what changed was, everything.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was like and when I sat down with Dustin that on that Tuesday, Monday was not a good day for it. Is you need to go outside that fence and look in and tell me what you see. Yeah. Do you see a business? Do you see discombobulation? What's going on? And then because he
holding the polisher at this time?
Oh, he didn't. He
was still in the
just
shop.
like today. He'll do anything.
Right, but I mean, was that like, were you spending a lot of time out in the shop, or because you also got the retail store that you're trying to build up at that point, right? Just freshly new.
Was that working on the software?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was very hands-on shop. So. I mean, like I was still given a lot of the pricing because the software was just in its infant stages.
Probably doing the QC.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. I was giving estimates a lot. That's kind of a role that he took on instantly was their mobile services.
Right. And we knew we needed the software because Dustin give a price, I give a price, and Candace, not Candace, Vonda would give a price, and I can tell you now all three prices were different.
We're different. We're different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and we knew how important it was.
Absolutely.
But he's right. Yeah. He said, he told me, go outside the gate, look in, tell me what you see. What are the problems? What can we fix? What are we doing here? And
what did you see? What was the number one thing that you saw that you knew I need to address this?
An employee nightmare.
No.
I'm guilty of working with whatever I have and making the best of it. And my dad is very proactive in saying, hey, we can do better.
Right.
Like we don't have to I don't want to say settle. We don't have to work around everything. We can just fix, And so we started the fix. And that took probably
was tough.
Yeah.
That before the installation of the 30, 40 cameras that are around here?
No, I had cameras.
I think there was 2.
Yeah. I had cameras, but it was more about accountability. I think,
that's right.
Him making sure that I held people accountable. You're paying these guys good money. Make them do their job.
I might have heard that you were a little bit of a pushover at one point in time. At least people, because you're so good-hearted, that you would you would do more than you needed to do.
I think it's a fair statement to say that but I will do it. So if it's got to be done, I'll just jump in there and do it.
That's right. Absolutely.
I don't but instead of saying no, you're going to do this, I'm saying get out of the way. I'll do it.
Gotcha.
And did that several times. Here was my thought about it, because Dustin and I talked about this. It doesn't make sense to have 20 employees and pay all of them whatever amount per hour when you could have 12 and pay them more and they stay with you and you get quality work.
Right.
You train them, and I mean, look how we've trained the staff. The staff we have today is
phenomenal.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they receive training all the time from the IDA, RUPES.
Yeah.
And Dustin's so knowledgeable. I mean, and that's your strength. He reads it, he retains it, he's able to put it to work. So it makes us a very good company.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to do that while hanging on the polisher, hanging on the buffer.
Absolutely.
Or running around from customer to customer. Like that disconnect was there because there was nobody there. And let me tell you another thing, like you can't just go hire someone that you know has your back unequivocally, and understands the pain and the struggle that you're going through, and is invested as you, but doesn't have like the ownership, and so to bring in your dad, in this case, was like amazing, it's just all the opportunity in the world.
It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows or whatever. However you want to screw it up. I think I accidentally got it right this time.
Yeah, you did. Butterflies. What is that?
So there had to have been some growing pains at some point in time. Was there ever any confrontation? Like
no, we know to stay in our lane. Like we know when we're getting on each other's nerves. I mean, straight up, like absolutely, we're very similar. And like in the mornings, I'm very particular. He is too, but like I'm probably a little bit more particular. I really don't want to be fucked with in the mornings. and when you say fucked with, you mean talked to, looked at, addressed in any manner. Well, yeah, I mean, and it's because like I have to get to a point. And
that's
once
right.
I get to that point, I'm gonna open, like I'm
absolutely
fine.
Right.
But until that point's met, like, and that's I go through my routine, I get my shit done. Like it's very technical stuff. It's not like,
oh no, I've seen your spreadsheets. It's ridiculous.
It's not like I just read the daily newspaper and once I'm done with that, like okay, no, this is stuff that's crucial to our operation.
Absolutely.
That I do.
Every one of the businesses.
Every one of the businesses, and it's a routine. And so. So just knowing each other, knowing how to read each other's body language, and Dad's good about just, hey, I'm gone, and like go handle his thing, and I'll handle mine, and then we meet in the middle. It's still funny, like each other calls first of all, we're never really late, but like we'll call him, like if like this morning I had to take Demi to school, so I text him, I'm like, hey, gonna be a few minutes late running to get donuts with Demi. Okay, but like so we give each other that respect, but neither one of us has to make that text. Like
100%.
Like we're not.
Absolutely.
Like, it's more of like a heads up. Hey, I'm not going to be in my office this morning.
Right.
And he'll do me the same. Hey, you care if I'm, whatever. Like, something. And
I just woke up.
Yeah, right.
It just seems.
Remember April 1st? We had a January 7th.
Man, it's just from the outside, it just looks like you guys got to be sugarcoating it a little. There was never a time where Mr. Billy, you were like, you know what, I have to quit. I'm done with this. I'm going back. Or you wanted to fire him because for locking.
Here's the thing: is it's just the way it is. I respect the fact that this is his business.
Sure.
Yeah. These are his businesses. Mm-hmm. And one day they'll be Demi's, but that's how it operates. So I respect that, just like me working for someone else. When I worked in the tank wash industry, I respected the fact that Matt was my boss. He gave me as much as I wanted it to do, and Dustin does the same thing. Right. It's my job to help make this as much as it can be, whether I'm an owner or an employee, and I just feel like I handle it the same way.
Yeah, he does, and I know there's a lot of biting of the tongue because we do have a different managerial way to us. I am very so I don't manage with like an iron fist. It's more like a collective.
You take everybody's ideas, and you're usually your idea will come in last, and it's usually an amalgamation of all the rest of them, see just a little tweak to it. But you're extremely like, somebody has an idea, that's a good idea, let's do that.
I agree. And he is very good with that.
And I'm telling you, that's something that you're not going to find with a whole lot of people, especially owners of companies, because they want to have their hands on everything. And
I think Dad's probably been burned by like, so when you own businesses for a length of time, you start to get why people get so just brick walled. It's my way or the highway, because you get burned by involving so many people, and then they just don't do what they say they're going to do.
Right.
So Dad comes into this new concept of, I'm going to let everybody, like the group, the majority wins kind of thing. And he's like, oh shit.
That's exactly what I thought. I got to listen to this bullshit, for an hour, and I'm like, okay, let's hurry up, Dustin, so you can get yours.
Yeah, really.
But no, and I want to pick up on that, because you're 1,000% right. And Dustin does. He sits there and he takes it, and you can watch. He's analyzing and processing everything that everybody says. And he does bring the best out of every one of us. And then he brings the best out of what we all thought.
Yeah.
Right.
Just try to bring it all together and sum it up and say, like, this is our direction.
Absolutely, you do.
And you do make sure to always point out that all the good ideas that I have were already written in the book.
They're already written.
And there's a stack of notebooks, and it's in there somewhere.
Well, I don't want you to get any credit that I deserve. I mean, you know,
I try to tell these people on Google reviews. I was like, don't mention my name. You know, just talk about the software. You know, you don't always have to say it.
Yeah, I seen the toot.
Yeah. So. Yeah, what was it called? I submitted
Well, I just took a screenshot of the thing that says I'm not one to toot my own horn, but we just talked about how amazing and attentive and how, you know, just going on about.
Ryan was tooting his horn in a non-tooting kind of way, and then made sure to put a toot.
Not to toot my own horn, but then a little meme of
I
a toot.
submitted a review on that review. And, I hope they take it down.
You said you were going to dispute that review.
I was going to dispute that review. All right, so you know, you're such a relatable person, and listen, this is what makes my dad great. Customer service and like customer relations is massive, and you know, I've always looked up to him in many aspects, but this one for sure, and always like in awe at the way that you handle our customers. And built relationships. You have a special way of doing it, Dad. What would you how would you describe the way that you interact with our customers or have built, you know?
I don't want that to sound cliche-ish, but it is something that you learn through age and through experience. But you can't go out there and do anything if you don't have the confidence of who's behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And this shop is here.
Right.
That retail store is there, and Detail Bookie's there. I mean, we got awesome employees. So if you can't go out there with confidence and do that, then you're not going to win that customer, because he or she's going to be able to see that you're not confident.
Right.
Sure.
And we went through that. We struggled with it with detailing.
Struggled that with Detail Bookie when I first started.
Sure.
Yes.
And learned the software.
Absolutely. And now you know it frontwards, backwards.
Oh, and I have so much confidence in it that I like it. I think that it has to come across in the demos, because people tell me this doesn't feel like you're trying to sell me on.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what you don't want to be as a salesperson.
Yeah. Dad's not salesy. You know, he's not. But he goes, like, you know, our boat dealers that he's built such good relationships with, you know, the auto dealerships that we do business with. I mean, and just our general customer base, his attention to detail with them, you know, understanding their likes, understanding their personalities. He's a very good people person. Mm-hmm. And so it's, I think I have some of that, but I don't have it as much as he does. He can build a relationship, man.
Absolutely. No, I've seen it. And I think another strategy, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you will go out and you will assess the boat. You know, if you go down the marina, you're looking at, you know, possibly you'll assess it, you'll let them know what it needs, but you don't give them a quote, right? You have the ladies at the office give them the quote.
Yep.
And you know, I think what that really does for the customer is it lets them know that, you know, I'm not talking to the person that's in charge. I'm not talking to the person that has the ability to give discounts or anything like that. And the way our pricing is so standardized,
right,
you know, that you let them know. And it's up to them at that point, once they've heard how much we charge to do what needs to be done. And that's going to help them determine right away, is this the level of service I'm looking for? Or if I'm looking for a boat washer, I can go down the street. You know?
Yeah, and it's just nice that they get that estimate from Gabby, and and it's broke down. Right. You know, Gabby does a phenomenal job of getting that to the customer and following up with that customer. We get the phone call that says whether I like the price or don't like the price, or how much you're going to give me off. And you know, and you know, our boat dealers, I mean, I've built relationships with them, and I would consider them friends. Yeah. And they're just phenomenal. They're owners. They own the company. So I get to see that. I love that side of the business.
Right.
Blue Water, dealing with Forrest. And I walk in there and see his dad, however old his dad is, but he still goes and picks up the mail every morning. Right. And he's sitting in there, and does he have an opinion? I don't know. I'm sure he's probably forgotten more than anybody will ever know.
Right.
So that's just, those relationships are special, that, you know, that phone call he gives you, he's giving it to you with confidence that y'all are going to do a good job, or we're going to do a good job for them. So,
you know what's funny though, and this is a little bit off track, but when you're in the middle of doing these things, you don't realize the relationship that we're building until you go back and you say, okay, well, tell me how you feel about it, and what are you doing? And so, like, you get to sit here and have this conversation. You go, wow, we work with each other every day. We do these things. It's like a dance that each one knows the other one's move before, you know, but like, we don't have to, like, we don't sit around at lunch and go, hey, Dad, it's great having a good lunch with you and great last 4 months. You know,
Right.
You don't ever like, you just know the other one's going to be there. You know that. You know, it's like a marriage in a sense. Like you just know, no, we're together more than a married couple. You know, we're together more than we're at home.
Right.
So you don't ever really get to appreciate these moments until maybe you see somebody else that, like you says at Blue Water, is it Blue Water, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Where the dad, you know, he's there every day, whether he's involved in operations or not. He's there every day and just checking mail. And
Absolutely.
Things.
It's just it's just awesome. So.
You're getting close to retirement age. I imagine, you know, this kind of is like I would say your last job, right?
I hope it is.
We hope so.
And
If you'll get busy, Ryan, it will be.
Always on me. So
yeah, no pressure.
No pressure at all. No. So
Just looking at you, buddy.
So you can see yourself in that in his dad, you know, being the guy that's just there, you know, and even if you're at that point just checking mail, you're going to be a part of this, you know.
If I'm walking to that mailbox with Demi Ryan,
yeah,
I'm a happy man.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so look, this is professional version. Now, there's also another side of this story with these two. Anyway, Dad, tell us about the tumultuous. Is that the word tumultuous?
Tumultuous. Yeah, tumultuous.
Something like that. Relationship between you and Ryan, and when Ryan decides, like,
I wouldn't describe it as tumultuous.
Well, or just this funky relationship at times. In our meetings when he decides to put his foot in his mouth or that. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's about what I can say. No, I'm just playing.
Here's the thing. Let me explain it. All right. So me and Mr. Billy.
Let me get the foot out and put it back in.
Real quick. Yeah. So we're from a different generation, right? And I'm a different cat. I mean, I definitely have a different personality. I have twerks and weird, you know, things. Yeah, personality defects, maybe. And so, like in our morning meetings, of course, Monday is always Dustin's favorite because it is all business. There is no giggles. There's no laugh. There's like, get down to business. Let's do this. And then there's uncomfortable silences in those meetings, and I'm very uncomfortable in uncomfortable silences. So I will just vomit out the mouth. Just I mean, as an anxiety, I think, so you know. He'll just kind of look over me, give me these eyes, smile. Every once in a while I get a chuckle at him, but it's never because the joke was good. It's just because you idiot, you know, he doesn't like this shit, and you do it every time. And he just looks at me going, yeah, dude, yeah, but I think, you know, certainly have done a lot to work, you know, to be more observant and work towards, you know, not doing things in the wrong time.
I think that's working on both of our sides. I've worked on that.
Yeah. Well, no, I think we all have learned how to work with each other. And so, like, when's the right time? You know, because like there are serious times, and then there's times where it does, you know, you want personality to come out, and you want that. But Mondays aren't the day, man.
No, Mondays are not.
Mondays, we're setting the tone, man. This is business, and this is money, and we're gonna go get it.
Absolutely.
Like, I want to know what we did great last week, what sucked at last week, and we'll know what we're gonna do this week to be better.
Absolutely.
Every Monday.
That's
right.
I'm
gonna take a Monday. We're gonna be here on Monday, and we're going to figure it out.
We're always extremely professional here as well. We have fun, but there is the professionalism. Sometimes there are instances where I feel Mr. Billy is being like personally, like, you know, jabby. Yeah. So we've got limited restrooms here at our shop or in our store, in our offices, and so you know, Mr. Billy's has an office, and his has a nice restroom, but he's on the road a lot, so he's, you know, taking boats here and there, and here recently I've noticed this trend that he'll lock his door to his office, which allows nobody to use his bathroom. And I just wonder if that's personal towards me. I mean, I try to clean around the bowl when I get done and everything, but
I think the key word there, you said my bathroom.
In his office.
In my office. Buy my golf clubs.
They
don't like that either.
That's okay.
No, it's not
we wouldn't
you know,
shit in your office.
I would hope not. I don't have a bathroom or a window. We still got to work on that.
Well, I guess in my, you know, a little bit of thinking, Madison's got a restroom.
Yep. No, but and she's been, and so like that's the thing. I go there first.
You walk right by there, and you
no. I go there first.
On my door.
I go there first. She'll either, if she's in a meeting or if she has somebody in there, if there's somebody in there, then I'll go to the public one, which is out there. And if that door's closed, then I'm like, your last choice. And I got to go. So I'm like,
we could set a porta john or porta.
We could.
Oh, man. Or we could just switch offices. You don't use the bathroom that much.
I've only moved 4 times. I'm good with moving more.
Hey, listen, that is no shit. And Dad got moved one time and didn't even know, like, his shit was boxed up.
Yeah, it was in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'd come in and he's like, what the hell?
Well, I kept getting closer to Dustin's office, and all of a sudden now I'm all the way on the other side of the building. So.
Yeah, that wasn't purposeful at all.
You know what's so funny to me is, like, and anybody that knows me knows that I think zero about shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't.
No, it don't bother me.
But
funny.
It's funny how people have, like, well, who's closer to Dustin, or like Trey's like the last man down there, you know, and he
right hand man's got to be as close as
that's right.
And so, but like to me, like it never crosses my mind of where people are in the office or where they're present. Like it's just, you know, it's just things happen around me. But like the awareness that Dad said, oh, I was moving closer to him, and then I'm all the way across, you know, whatever.
And he could have taken that some sort of way, but you never in a million years would have thought that.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't matter to me. It was just a joke at the time.
That was hilarious.
So
another one of your quirks is so you are we go on these trips, you know, down to we go down to Orlando, Kentucky, we'll be heading to Vegas. And you are, you know, the designated driver of one of the vehicles that we end up taking down there.
Most of the time.
Right. And so basically what I want to know is there a strategy? Because a little birdie told me that you do not like to stop to eat, or bathroom breaks really aggravate you a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of waste of time.
A lot of waste of time.
Do it while we're getting fuel. Let's knock it out.
Okay. And so that's
Dad
even with
one way to travel, and that's lock it up till it's time to fuel and get there.
Now that seems like something, you know, I think guys could probably hold their pee longer than girls, right? Is that a fact? I think that's
I don't know about that.
That's a fact. Ship it.
Jessica does pretty good. She never says a word. She's
it's
loaded
Chris.
up.
It's Chris.
Well, Chris is busy smacking the hell out of that gum.
Hey, I gotta tell this story. This is one of the funniest travel stories that I think I've heard. Dad had Chris and Jessica, the production team, in his truck, and then I was you and Joel. Joel was driving in mine, and we got stopped at a restaurant or somewhere to fuel up or whatever. And Dad asked Chris, said, did that gum make it to heaven? And Chris like, what are you talking about? I said, my dad said, because you were smacking the hell out of it. But what happened? And good Chris bust out laughing. He said, man, I had my headphones in and he couldn't hear nothing. He said, and I was wondering if they could hear. So I was just letting it rip. And Jessica chimed in too. She's like, my God, what was you doing?
Yeah, she let him up pretty good about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just funny.
That's great, dude.
So, but you know, look,
That's my traveling parts, by the way. They're good travelers.
They are, but listen, I think one of the reasons that they're such a good traveler is because Dad also has a way of putting you to sleep. So the first thing he does is make sure that you got something to eat, like a warm biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he puts on a certain particular music. Dad, what kind of music do you play in your truck when you're traveling?
Jazz.
Yeah.
Low volume jazz.
And mind you, this man loves pop. I mean, he is on the trends of new music. Yeah, he likes new music, but jazz on those trips, and
I don't hear nothing out of them.
Nah.
They wake up and we're a couple hundred miles down the road, right?
My sister. Right. Look, my sister, he will not stop while traveling. When I was about 10, I had to hold my pee for to Bama.
Oh my God, that's like 8 hours. Poor thing.
That's
hilarious. So, like, we poke fun at each other, and that's all part of, you know, it's a family.
That's right, absolutely.
Even though you guys are blood, I'm an honorary Jackson, I feel like, or at least, you know.
Don't get carried away.
I might try
to just assume that.
Yeah.
Well, because I just saw her text. I figured we was going to get married one day. Oh, look at that face. Yeah. I love that
Stick
face.
with honorary.
Yeah.
You don't need no Billies as a father-in-law. No Billies.
Billy Smith.
No, Billy Smith. Yeah.
I got your back, Billy.
Jesus.
And we know you're watching.
Because his daughter is adopted by us.
That's true. That's true. That's all right. Yeah, that was keeping it in the family then. So hold on. Let me get back. So when we're going to these conferences, without you, right? People, we couldn't do it. Basically, I mean, every single time, people call how's Mr. Billy doing?
Yeah.
You know,
I
we
get
go to
all
the
kinds of
conferences. Where's Dustin's dad at? Is he here? Is he here? You know, like you are definitely one of the attractions there. And I think it's just because, well, not only your disposition. I mean, you don't meet strangers, you know what I mean? And you just always make people feel good, whatever it is. I try to take that and use it in my day to day. And, you know, I certainly respect you for a lot of other things that's including that, but you know, you're going to have to continue to go to all of these conventions, right?
Absolutely.
And I think one other thing that you tend to do is you keep us on a bit of a leash, which I think is needed from time to time. So there has been occasions where we might be getting a little carried away, having a little bit too much fun.
Want to stay a little late.
Yeah.
But party.
Exactly. Knowing we got to get up early the next morning. But you're always real good about reeling us in. But, you know, and it's always at the right appropriate time. It's never earlier, you know.
Well, I try to limit the April 1st.
Yeah,
happening to all of us as a group, right?
Yeah, right.
Higher day.
Yeah, he's been there, you know. Hey, funny story real quick about traveling. Me and Dad go up to Lexington, Kentucky, and we were at a training for IGL we were speaking at. And so we share a hotel room. And so we have to have noise when we sleep, right?
Yeah.
And neither one of us had a box fan for some reason. And so we get in the room, we're like, shit, man, what are we gonna have for noise? We both have the little fan app or whatever. It wasn't enough. So Dad goes in the kitchenette room and turns the microwave fan on high.
It was loud.
we were snoozing, man. So every night the microwave fan got turned on.
That's great.
I mean, it was loud enough that Dustin would get up at 4 to go work out, and I never heard him.
Right?
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun. So.
And I think we already covered how you form these bonds. Is that something that, I mean, how does that happen so easily for you? Is that that's one of those things?
It's a natural thing, you know, like Joel Apalm. I mean, he's like a brother.
Yeah.
Honestly, Joel, not saying that, but I think about him every day. What's he doing today? You know, I appreciate him and Marcus, and
right.
I'm probably missing a million others that I talk to. And we go to these events. They're all awesome, and I enjoy the conversations, and I like to stand back and watch their interactions with their customers and their families as well. You know, it's amazing when we go to IGL and you see Marcus and Mike, Mike Carlin, man, I love their interaction with their families because it's pure and it's
Billy,
genuine.
Of course,
that's a brother.
Family,
that's right. So yeah, it's fun, and they're all very supportive of us, and they're supportive of Dustin, and that's very heartfelt for all of us.
Absolutely.
It is. You know, one thing that I want to note is, you know, we've joked around, we talked about the fun, we talked about the serious, but the reality is none of these businesses would be where they are without you and your guidance along the way and mentorship, and, you know, recently came through some life changes, and to have you there and to have you push me back into where I needed to be was you know, invaluable. Like, you know, just to have your shoulder to lean on and the direction that you've steered these, you know, helped steer these companies. And, you know, as a company and as as your son, definitely want to say a huge thank you to you know, you, and love you and how much you've really done for this. I don't think that you will ever understand the impact that you've had on my life and on these businesses as we've come a long way. And I want you to, you know, I think that I would love to see us take more time and be able to look back and say, hey, you know, these are the things that we built together and things that we've done. We should do that as a company,
right?
But, you know, as father son as well. I think it's important, and it's fun. It's fun to have these conversations and joke around. But at the end of the day, it's a serious thing. You know?
It is serious, and sometimes there's something that I have questioned your commitment a couple times, and that's only in regards to so you like getting out on the ocean in your nice big boat. I
wasn't really sure where you would
nice
say that. I was about to give you a little bit here.
Yeah. But so
help me, Billy Smith.
I think one of the first couple of weeks I was here, I had a great situation. Best idea I think I've had so far was, you know, because we've seen some of these other companies, they get their cars wrapped with their, you know, logos on it and stuff like that. Well, you know, they, you know, Mike Harlan, and then they got their trucks wrapped and everything. So they're out there representing, they're proud of their brand. And I just had the idea that your boat wrapped with detailed bookie. It's a blue boat. Oh, dude, it was, and that's the logo. It would have been the most beautiful. Like, yeah, we would have outshined anybody that has anything wrapped, even Dustin's smart car.
Yeah, that's hard.
But you never made it happen, and I know you're getting yourself a nice new boat coming up here one of these days. And I'm just wondering, is this? Are you ready to commit to the team?
If you're willing to pay for the wrap, we'll do it.
Hey, we can make that happen. Well, I'll start a GoFundMe, guys. I'm sure everybody.
Oh, you probably get some help with that now.
Everybody,
I think Dad wants a bookie down the side of his boat. He's not drinking Coronas.
I need one fast on the back. It says "Catch me."
Heck yeah, man!
I love it. No,
well, real quick, I love you too, and it is special, you know. And honest, you know, we all create a bond. Ryan, you know, all of ours are different. You know, our personalities are different, and you know, and we all God sends us through certain things. Not to get biblical on everyone, but you know, He doesn't prepare us for it, but He gives us the ability to handle it, and that's what He did. What you went through, and what we all go through as families and friends and partners in work. You know, and I think, you know, I had to reach way back and say, how do I help my son? You know, and because I have a granddaughter that's very special. My son, all of my kids are special to me, and so you want to be there for them. You can't fix everything, but you can be there.
That's true.
That's right.
Well, and you guys have always been there for me. I did, you know, I had some hard times, you know, in my past, and I came in, and you know, it's not something I can 100% say I'm over, but every time I've ever had anything come up, you know, you guys are the first to let me know that it's going to be all right, that we're in this together. I'm not in it alone.
No,
that's right.
I
Absolutely.
do have support.
And that, you know, that's you can't put value on that. That's something that you know, that's important. And you know what? It's not, you know, being there for each other is what it's all about. You know, we're here to build this thing together, and it's not about one person or one thing. It's about all of us together. And, you know, listening ain't always easy. You know, me and Dad have tough conversations. I mean, all the time about, you know, where things are going, what are we doing? And you know what? He's got my back 100%. And you know what? It's nice to know that. And
we're all got a paddle. We're paddling.
That's right. That's right. All right. So listen, that was an awesome family episode. Right?
I almost thought Mr. Billy was going to cry at the end of it, and I was going to put that up there with Rennie Dole podcast. And oh man, I'm saving all those. Those are my favorites. You know, we really hit the mark on those. But
it was good. So now there's always a time where we can lighten things up, Ryan.
That's right. And so, Ethan, what time is it?
All right.
That's correct. Or hack.
So we have a new guy directing the show today. Jessica's still with us, and she's still running things from a distance. But today was Ethan's day, and he just dropped the ball hard. He will never live that down. Ethan. The timing was not
impeccable. All right, guys. So we picked this hack straight out of Facebook. I think Ethan's going to have a photo to show us.
Yeah. There was this awesome post from friends of mine,
Raymond and Paige Evans. There you go. And if you guys don't notice, what's in between her legs is a vacuum hose, right?
Yeah. Can you see that, Dad? There's a vacuum hose between her legs.
I do see this.
They were showing this great hack.
It's tip of the day, I believe, is what they called it.
Tip of the day. We call those hacks.
Yeah, that's a hack right there. And so, so if you want to keep your customers' paint protected, I think we've got another video.
Our way of doing it.
Yeah, because we do this too.
There's Chris.
Oh, look at that, Chris. What's up, buddy? I got a little wink at the camera. Oh my God!
I can't even notice the vacuum hose.
When I tell you, I said, Chris, you got any shorts that are tight? He said, oh God.
He's not protecting paint.
That's not, he's just helicopter. That's bragging, I think, you know. The OnlyFans. Dude, killing it.
What did I missed it?
Okay.
God,
Detail bookie OnlyFans link.
Oh.
So quick funny story is Dad saw Chris walking around this morning with those shorts. And he's like, what the hell is Chris wearing?
Oh God, that is so.
All right,
awesome.
But we got to do it. We got to do it because we do it every time.
That's right.
All right, so if you're in the middle of the woods.
Yep.
All you have is your car.
Okay.
Nice paint.
Yeah.
Vacuum hose.
And
your knees.
What about tight shorts? I feel like that should be part of it. Yeah.
You can bend over, put that hose between your knees,
and keep it off the door jams. Not going to touch any of that paint.
this hack is confirmed.
Confirmed.
Boom.
Good
Confirmed.
job, guys.
All right.
Thank
all
you,
right.
Paige and Raymond Evans. Keep those hacks coming,
Thank
guys.
you, Chris
Yeah.
and Ethan, for your awesome video. And Jessica, we know you had a huge part in it as well. That's going to wrap up today's podcast, and we're going to wrap up this family series next week with a family that's really special to us. We got Marcus Parsley and his son Gunner, which he's
awesome.
He's the upcoming detailer.
Yeah.
How old is he, like 4?
Four.
Yeah.
We're really going to get deep with Hunter and find out his philosophy on detailing and,
Yeah.
and see where his future is headed.
It's exciting to see their family dynamic. I don't know if they've got the drunk story that me and Dad have,
Right.
but hopefully not.
It's coming.
However, I have been to the IGO parties, and I would not put it past the peanut butter whiskey to make it.
Oh,
gosh.
But listen, that's gonna do it. Great podcast, Dad.
Thank you.
Love you. Thank
Love
you.
you too. Thank you,
Great
Ryan.
show, Ryan. As always,
Y'all
Ethan,
take
did a great job producing.
Find your podcast. Of course, we are much prettier in person, so check out that YouTube page. If you don't want to see the video, you got to see Chris's hacker hack
Yes, you
videos.
do.
They're insane. So
That's gonna do it.
check us out. Peace. You didn't do the peace. Really.
Oh, my